Hey everybody, Kyle Goethe here from GoatFilmReviews.com and the Goat Film Reviews YouTube channel, and we've got another unboxing for you today. I wanted to watch some of the movies in this set, so I figured now was the right time to break into it. I picked this up during Severin's Black Friday sale last year, and so I thought let's dive into it. This is the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee. This is a 9-disc and book set with 8 Blu-rays and a CD covering 6 different films. I think it's 6 different films. There's a show in here. So there's like 5 different films in a show. There's a lot of stuff. Let's just go ahead and break into it so that I can stop assuming what's in here and just find out what's in here. Okay, and as you can see, we have the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee collection. Let's go ahead and get the plastic off of this. It's a box set featuring a skeleton on the front. It's probably going to win me over. Okay. And so like a lot of Severin releases, this kind of has like a little bit of a lift up portion, if you will. And I guess here, before we get too far, let's take a quick look here. So we have 9 discs and a book, 8 Blu-rays and a CD, and the listed films there: Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace, Crypt of the Vampire, The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, Challenge the Devil, Castle of the Living Dead, and Theater Macabre. From Dracula to Jedi Master, Bond villain to a metal god, Christopher Lee's 70-year career was rich, varied, and often pretty weird. He remains one of the most beloved horror fantasy icons in US, UK pop culture history, but Christopher Lee delivered several of the most compelling, acclaimed, and bizarre performances in his entire career in 1960s Europe. The Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee brings together 5 of these Lee classics: the 1964 Gothic shocker Crypt of the Vampire, the 64 cult hit Castle of the Living Dead, co-starring an unknown Donald Sutherland, 1962's celebrated Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace, 1967's lurid favorite The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, and the rarely seen 1963 oddity Challenge the Devil, with the 24 surviving episodes of the 1971 Film Polski anthology series, Theater Macabre, all hosted by Lee. Remastered from negative materials with over 10 hours of trailers, rare promos, audio commentaries, vintage interviews, plus the Castle of the Living Dead soundtrack and a 100-page book. So, we'll try lifting this off again now that we've had a better chance. And what we'll do is we'll just basically start from the front and we'll work our way back. So, up first here we have Castle of the Living Dead. So on the back here we see required viewing for fans of Christopher Lee and Italian horror. This is the first ever authorized release of the original uncut version scanned in 4K. In the final film of his early 1960s European period, Christopher Lee stars as a 19th century count who invites a theatrical troupe for a weekend of horrors that boasts an enthusiastically creepy performance by Lee, startling locations in Lazio, Italy's Orsini Odescalchi Castle, and Park of the Monsters' second unit, directing by Michael Reeves, and the screen debut of Donald Sutherland as both a doofus gendarme and a hunchbacked hag. Alright, so this is a 90-minute film from 1964, black and white. Look at that thing right there. Okay. And then for special features, we've got audio commentary by Mondo Digital's Nathaniel Thompson and film writer Troy Howarth, an audio commentary by film writer Kat Ellinger, From the Castle to the Academy, career interview with master producer Paul Maslansky, and The Castle of the Mystery Man, Roberto Curti, author of Mavericks of Italian Cinema, on writer-director Warren Kiefer. Bonus disc is the CD soundtrack by Angelo F. Lavagno. So we'll go ahead and open that up right there. Alright, so we've got kind of a player card, and again, as we see on here, a soundtrack list of all the tracks. We've got the Blu-ray right there, and then the compact disc with the soundtrack to Castle of the Living Dead right there. So, pretty solid stuff right there. Again, I like this poster art. I like that it's kind of got that, it's got that gothic look, but it also has that, we resurrected this film from the depths, and now it's here for your pleasure. So, alright, up next, we have Christopher Lee in Challenge the Devil. So, Lee's journey into perversion, the ultra-rare Faustian shocker, now remastered from the original negative, in the most obscure film of his early 1960s period, if not his entire career. Christopher Lee stars in this brilliantly bizarre combination of neo-realist crime thriller, tawdry Christian melodrama, fizzy cabaret musical, and trippy gothic horror, culminating in a gang of bongo-crazed delinquents menaced by a white-haired Lee as a sinister Victorian who may be Satan himself. This is from 1963. It's only 79 minutes, but it's in black and white. And then we also have up here special features: Dance with the Devil, an interview with Roberto Curti, author of Mavericks of Italian Cinema, The Importance of Being Giorgio, which is an interview with Giorgio Artisan over 2 decades, and a trailer. Okay, they've each got kind of a lobby card right here too. So Relics from the Crypt. Okay, and it's got a bunch of other things that are on these extra discs. Oh, Relics from the Crypt is a separate thing completely. Okay, we'll get to that in a second here. Challenge the Devil is the disc right there for that. Yeah, and then Relics of the Crypt. I'm sorry, I was very confused here when I saw this other Blu-ray disc. So real quick, let's take a look at what the lobby card has for that there. Relics from the Crypt. That has Horror, a 1964 Swiss documentary short by Pierre Koralnik, featuring interviews with Christopher Lee, Boris Karloff, Vincent Price, Roger Corman, and Roy Ashton. That's in French, 16 minutes. The Man Behind the Mask, Christopher Lee remembers Boris Karloff, a new edit of an unfinished 1991 documentary by Ian Ruff. Cinescope, a 1976 Belgian TV interview with Salim Sasson, 52 minutes. Colin Grimshaw interviews Christopher Lee in 1975, 17 minutes. We also have audio interview with Christopher Lee accompanied by stills from the Del Val archive and video introduction by David Del Val. And then we also have Monsters and Vampires, an interview with pioneering horror movie historian Alan Frank. The Crypt Keepers, making of the Crypt of the Vampire featurette with screenwriter Ernesto Gastaldi, assistant director Tonino Valeri, and film historian Fabio Milleri. Also Mio, It's Now or Never, and She'll Fall for Me, Christopher Lee and Gary Curtis music videos. Okay, now we've got something. And then outtakes from To the Devil, a Daughter, and Theater of Death, 2001 DVD interview session, including The Most Frightening Film Ever, Black Masses, Mission to Moscow, and more, and a University College Dublin 2011 Q&A with Christopher Lee. So that's all in here. It's kind of like a secret disc located in here. Or maybe it's listed and I just wasn't paying any attention. Not listed on here to my knowledge. So, and the other thing I wanted to look at is, okay, I should mention these are not double-sided slipcovers. So this is the version you get. That's the poster art, the home video release. So up next we have Crypt of the Vampire, which shockingly stars Christopher Lee. So get a good look at that picture. Very cool. And then Truly Haunting, the first official U.S. Blu-ray release, now scanned from a fine-grained 35mm master. In a lavish Gothic shocker inspired by Sheridan Le Fanu's immortal novella Carmilla, Christopher Lee delivers a rare hero turn as nobleman Count Karnstein, whose foreboding castle teems with ancestral curses, unnatural desires, philosophical hunchbacks, and grisly acts of violence. Adriana Ambisi co-stars in this 1964 Spanish-Italian co-production known as Terror of the Crypt and Crypt of Horror, directed by Camillo Mastrocinque. Wow, a fantastic-looking movie. You got that right. It's 85 minutes long. It's 1964. It's in black and white. And it only comes with a trailer, but interestingly enough, Carmilla is also the basis for the Karnstein trilogy of Hammer films that I think at least 2 of them had Christopher Lee involved. I don't remember if the third one did, but I think at least 2 of them had, not Christopher Lee, sorry, Peter Cushing was involved in the Karnstein trilogy. So kind of interesting that they each had their own film version of Camilla in some versions. So very cool. Also, I haven't made mention yet, but it's really cool that they each have a different kind of color to them. Just saying on the back there. Up next, we have Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace, directed by Terence Fisher. And you know what? This one actually has Christopher Lee in it. It's pretty exciting. There's the side of it there as well. I've been kind of missing on that. What a wonderful Holmes DVD drive-in. The first authorized U.S. disc release of Lee's only movie performance as Holmes. Shortly after their hit collaboration on The Hound of the Baskervilles, Christopher Lee and director Terence Fisher returned to Holmesiana for Lee's sole feature film portrayal of the world's greatest detective. Shot in Berlin with Hammer regular Thorley Walters as Dr. Watson, Lee considered it to be, quote, one of the best things I've ever done because I tried to play Holmes really as he was written, as a very intolerant, argumentative, difficult man. Senta Berger and Ivan Desny co-star in this 1962 West German-French-Italian co-production produced by Arthur Brauner from a screenplay by Kurt Schomack. Wow, okay. 86 minutes long, 1962 in black and white. And the lone special feature there is an audio commentary with Kim Newman and Barry Forshaw. So that seems like a pretty interesting one. Kim Newman knows the stuff about this, so... Okay. Sherlock Holmes right there. Pretty standard stuff, but again, I love the fact that, again, orange, so as comparison here, every one of these has a different color, which I think is really neat. Just a little thing, but it does mean something. Here comes Christopher Lee. This is Theater Macabre. Christopher Lee presents Theater Macabre. There's the side of it right there. All right. And what we have here is no one in the history of film has ever captured the irresistible erotic allure of corruption and decadence the way Christopher Lee did. This Polish anthology series hosted by Lee, featuring 24 remastered episodes on 2 discs. Christopher Lee hosted this anthology series originally produced by Film Polski, in the tradition of Alfred Hitchcock Presents and Boris Karloff's Thriller. Lee delivers the intro and outro for each half hour at his imposing and often cheeky best, while the tales themselves, adapted from stories by Poe, Dostoevsky, Ambrose Bierce, Robert Louis Stevenson, and Oscar Wilde, are written and or directed by filmmakers that include Andrzej Zulawski, who directed Possession, and Andrzej Wada, who did Man of Iron, Academy Award winner. Dubbed in English and featuring additional dialogue by Jesse Lasky and new theme music by Ron Goodwin, it has remained largely unseen since its brief airing on American TV in 1971. These 24 surviving episodes are now scanned from 2K from the original negatives, and this comes with a promo with Christopher Lee, which, I mean, if it doesn't have him in this, then what are we doing here? This whole series is 610 minutes, and it ran from 71 to 72 in color. So this is the 24 surviving episodes. It should be noted this, I haven't done much diving into this clearly. I kind of forgot that there was a series involved here, but there's the 2 discs, and my assumption is that there are more episodes that just did not survive, which is unfortunate, but thank goodness we have the 24 that we do. And again, the blue is not the same as the purple. Just remember that, folks. It's a different color. Lastly, we have The Torture Chamber of Dr. Satan. Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism with Christopher Lee. No doubt about that. So we got the side right there. And we've got, it's green. The last one's green. A nightmarish fairy tale brought to life, the definitive version of the Euro horror classic now scanned from the original negative. Christopher Lee stars as Count Regula, an insane nobleman found guilty of murdering a dozen virgins and drawn and quartered for his crimes. But when a lawyer, former Tarzan Lex Barker, is summoned to the Count's castle 35 years later, he will unlock a wildly entertaining odyssey of torture, dismemberment, and creepy Bavarian locations that is equal parts Mario Bava and Hieronymus Bosch. Karen Dorr and Dieter Epler co-star in this 1967, quote, underrated gem, also known as Castle of the Walking Dead, Blood of the Virgins, and The Blood Demon, directed by Krimi veteran Harold Reinl and loosely based on Poe's The Pit and the Pendulum. So special features-wise, we've got an audio commentary by Mondo Digital's Nathaniel Thompson and film writer Troy Howarth, an audio interview with actress Karen Dorr, a location featurette, a German Super 8 digest short, actually a couple of those, Die Schlangengruben, and we have a theatrical and teaser trailer, a behind-the-scenes still gallery, a poster gallery, and a restoration slideshow. This is an 84-minute film from 1967 in color, and she looks just as surprised as anyone else couldn't be in this film. So let's go ahead and open it up and see if the torture chamber has any secrets. No, the secret is that disc goes right at the poster, which is pretty solid. I'm okay with that. Honestly, these posters are fantastic. So, finally, not a film, but we do have the Continental Connection by Jonathan Rigby. So this is a full 100-page booklet that has very small print. There's a lot of stuff in here. And again, it's crazy to me how much production they'll put into making this kind of stuff work and how incredibly inexpensive it actually is for these 5 films, a TV series, and a 100-page booklet. Just shocking to me, to be honest, because what a fantastic collection this looks to be. So So again, yeah, we've got the 6 films in there. Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace. Or I guess let's count them down this way. So we have the Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. We have the 24-episode Theater Macabre. We have Sherlock Holmes and the Deadly Necklace. We have Crypta the Vampire. We have Challenge the Devil. And we close it off with Castle of the Living Dead. 5 films, a 24-episode surviving element of a TV series, and a 100-page book. It's crazy. It all fits inside that box. And there you have it. All right, so there you have it. We just covered the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee, and that was, I believe that was volume 1. There's a second one. There's a second volume. When we finish watching all those films, we'll probably do another unboxing video as we open up the second volume of the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee. These are sets that I wasn't initially certain about getting, and then ended up diving into because I just kind of had this passion for what Severin was doing as they sent me a couple of things, and there's a lot of stuff I've owned in the past of theirs, and I didn't realize how in-depth they dive in, not just with restorations, but special features and deep diving in all these different things. I've just been so impressed with the work that they've been doing that even the films of theirs that don't inherently jump out at me have made me want to go and get the copy that they have, because they just have such tremendous presentations. And even the collections of theirs that have had films I didn't love, I just love the experience of them. So more than happy to check this out, and I hope you got something of enjoyment out of this as well. Maybe you found out if this was a set that was for you. Maybe you already have it and you wanted to hear my thoughts on it. Let me know if you've seen any of the films in that collection, or if there's anything in there that excites you about that set, and if you are planning on picking up, or if you already have. I'd love to hear about it down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for joining me. You can also check out goatfilmreviews.com for my many written reviews. You can find Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can follow me personally at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads, and Blue Sky. And you can find my show Kyle and Nick on Film that I co-host with Nick Plotachuk from the St. Paul Filmcast. We have new episodes of that show every single week. There's also a link in the video description here for the Minnesota Film Critics Association, of which I'm a member. You can find other film critics' reviews of new, popular, and classic films, as well as more of my stuff over there. Make sure while you're here, though, that you like and subscribe. Those are 2 free things that really help to support the channel, and we'd love to see you over here more. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.